sections of Project 2025, which sets forth a blueprint for dangerous plans under this new administration. You'll have an enormous responsibility at OMB, and given your record, I have serious questions about whether you can be trusted to carry out the law and safeguard programs that many Americans rely on, like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and many more. You also authored this 2023 budget proposal at a foundation that I believe that you helped to found over at the Center for Renewing Americans. Is that correct?
I did help found the Center for Renewing America and put that together.
And you stand by your name?
Senator, I'm not here to talk about the proposals of the Center for Renewing America.
Mr. Vogt, my question is a simple one. You stand by your name?
I do stand by my name.
Do you stand by your word?
Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate that because you signed this document. This is your signature?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Mr. Vogt, in 2021, what was the reason for founding this center?
We wanted to continue the work on policies that were based on the principles of President Trump running for office in his first term. And we wanted to make sure that the political class here, the agenda-setting functions, were not going to ignore those important America First perspectives. But again, Senator, I'm not here on behalf of the center. I'm here on behalf of the president's policies that he ran on, that he's already acting on.
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to submit this into the record. Mr. Vogt, do you know how many families receive assistance through the Low Income Energy Assistance Program?
Not off the top of my head.
Would it surprise you if it was estimated about 5.9 million families, according to the National Consumer Law Center?
It would not.
Your 2023 budget from the Center for Renewing America proposed eliminating LIHEAP funding entirely, which would force millions of Americans to see skyrocketing energy costs, especially this week as temperatures are dipping below zero across the country. I think that's important, especially those of us that represent states where many of our constituents depend on these programs when it gets cold. Mr. Vogt, you authored Chapter 2 of Project 2025 titled Executive Office of the President of the United States, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to enter Chapter 2 of Project 2025 into the record. In this chapter, you wrote that the Trump administration must reaffirm its commitments to, quote, preventing drug use before it starts, providing treatment that leads to long-term recovery, end quote. Mr. Vogt, do you know that Medicaid is the largest payer for substance use disorder services in the United States?
Yes, Senator.
About 38% of folks in this space depend on that program, but in the budget from your group, the Center for Renewing America, you included significant cuts to Medicaid, a total of $2.3 trillion of cuts over 10 years. Now, Mr. Vogt, on April 8, 2024, you tweeted that, quote, defending life is the most important thing to me, end quote. Does that sound correct?
Senator, on behalf of the administration, I will be putting in place the president's views on life and abortion.
Mr. Vogt, do you know that roughly, or do you know what roughly percentage of American babies are born with Medicaid health coverage every year?
I don't know.
About 41%. Would that surprise you?
It would not.
In your same budget, you call to eliminate the federal matching percentage floor for states. This would eliminate crucial investments that will put the health care of pregnant mothers in jeopardy. Your budget says that it would cut over $650 billion from that program alone. Mr. Vogt, do you know that Head Start promotes school readiness for children from birth to age 5?
Yes, Senator.
Do you know how many children were served by Head Start in FY23?
Not off the top of my head, Senator.
Over 770,000 children. Your budget proposes a 50% funding reduction for Head Start programs. In your budget, you included a statement that said Head Start participants have worse behavior and academic outcomes than children who do not enroll in the program, end quote. 2 members of this committee are Head Start graduates, including myself. Does that surprise you?
No,
Senator. That outcomes from Head Start got a couple of folks to the United States Senate?
It does not surprise me, Senator.
Would you like to apologize about that statement?
I wasn't referring to anybody in particular, Senator. We were looking at the program, the reforms that were a part of that proposal, and that proposal is not an administration document, and I'm not here to defend it.
I appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, could I add to the record a document from the National Head Start Alliance that cites over 30 studies that find the advantage for Head Start kids?
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chairman, just one last question on Native American programs around safety. Mr. Vo, I assume that you support making American communities safer?
Yes, sir.
Does this include Native American communities surrounding rural, local, and border towns?
Yes, sir.
Do you plan to defund BIA and tribal police again as you did under your first tenure in OMB?
Senator, we haven't begun the budget process. I'm not confirmed and won't be able to comment on what a future budget where we don't have a fiscal goal that the president has agreed to would look like at this point.
You're not willing to say no today?
I'm not willing to comment on any programs that have not been articulated as part of the budget process that has not been
Appreciate that.
done.
Mr. Chairman, I just hope that in this case, when we talk about border security, safety in our communities, bipartisanly, we've worked on several of these committees to improve law and order, support for the Bureau of Indian Affairs with Native American police officers, things of that nature. This is an area where there's bipartisan support to protect these programs, and I hope that we can continue to do that. I yield.
Thank you very much. Senator Scott.